Welcome, everyone. This is Rouimi. I have our guest speaker, Natan Maimon, here with us. And Baruch Hashem, this is going to be the first podcast that we're doing here at our office in Hollywood Boulevard, Florida. And we're very excited to have you, Rabbi. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
And we're going to learn a little bit about Rosh Hashanah. We're going to get prepared. So we're very honored to be able to have our first class with Rav Maimon here from Israel. And looking forward to hearing some of your great words.
One of the descriptions of this holiday, Rosh Hashanah, is judgment, a day of judgment. And the Torah cautions human beings not to judge in general, to avoid judging, but especially not to judge anyone until you can put yourself in that person's place, in that person's position. Very often we find ourselves looking at other people and judging them by our criteria, based on our standards, on our situation, our environment and everything, not realizing that this person who's in a completely different environment, it's much more natural for them to behave differently. And therefore, in Pirkei Avot, it cautions us, Al tadin et chavercha ad shetagia lemekomo. Don't judge your fellow person until you are in that person's place. And that being said, that limits those that are qualified to judge basically to two. One is Hashem, the creator of the world, who is called Mekomo Shel Olam, the place of the world. And in fact, those that are familiar with geometry know that when you want to define place, when you want to define a square, the area of a square, the way you do it is it's side square. If you have a square that's 5 inches, the side is 5 inches, 5 squared is 25. Inside that square, you have 25 square inches. If we take the basic name of Hashem, Yud Ke Vav Ke, and we square each one of the letters, Yud is 10, square it, it's 100. He is 5, squared is 25. Vav is 6, squared is 36. And the other He 5 is 25. Together, it's Makom, it's 186, which tells us that Hashem is Makom. He is the ultimate place, and therefore, He is the only one who really knows everyone's place, and therefore is best qualified to judge us. That being said, justice, you'd say, is scary, but we're told that the fact that Hashem chose to make Judgment Day, Rosh Hashanah, the beginning of the year, also correspond to the beginning of a month, a new month, tells us something about how Hashem is judging. Because when people get into any kind of a conflict, a disagreement, and someone crosses a certain line where they need to apologize, usually people find that very difficult. Most people find that difficult. If someone wants to help that individual, the way they would do it, one of the best ways they would do it is if the other side, who doesn't really owe an apology, if the other side says, I want to apologize, and makes up some kind of a situation where maybe had I behaved differently, you wouldn't have said what you said or done what you did, which was so terrible, and shifting the responsibility to me. In doing that, it makes it so much easier for the one who really needs to apologize to do it. Rosh Chodesh, the first day of the month, the Torah teaches us, Hashem apologizes. To whom? To the moon. The Talmud, the Gemara tells us that originally the two lanterns, the sun and the moon, were created equal size. They're called Shnei Ma'orot Hagdolim. Afterwards, when the Torah speaks about them, it speaks about them as the larger one, the smaller one. The sun being the larger, the moon. How did that happen? We're told that the moon came with a complaint saying can't have two kings sharing the same crown. And after a whole give and take between the moon and Hashem, Hashem finally says, you know what? You're right. And therefore, on your birthday, on the first of the month, on Rosh Chodesh, my children will offer a sacrifice in the Beit HaMikdash as a form of an apology to the moon if I wronged you in any way. Now, the fact that Hashem chooses Rosh Hashanah to be on Rosh Chodesh is telling us a very important message, that that's the day when Hashem is showing us as if he wasn't perfect, as if he has a need to apologize at times. And in showing us that, the intention is to make it easy for us who recognize that we are definitely imperfect to be able to apologize, to respond in the same way, to apologize for our shortcomings, thereby making the Rosh Hashanah work.
And that's where it's the slichot comes in play, because the slichot is essentially giving us this warning up to Rosh Hashanah, where we're constantly waking up every morning very early to pray and ask Hakadosh Baruch Hu, ask Hashem for forgiveness, and we're doing the slichot. Times I was wondering, why is it that I'm having to say sorry for so many things that may not be applicable to me, or maybe are more than applicable, and it's always a struggle to understand, why am I spending so much time apologizing for so many things. But now with this beautiful example, we can understand how it doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong. Just by apologizing, we can get ourselves into that mode, into that mindset of being ready for the new year and coming in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
There's also another important point that people aren't aware of, the fact that when we made our original agreement and commitment to be loyal to Hashem, to be loyal to the Torah, in addition to each and every one of us signing up personally, each and every one of us co-signed for everyone else. Kol Yisrael Arevim Zel Hazeh, which means that in the apologies that we're submitting, if there are things that a person says, this has no relevance to me at all, true, but since we are in this together, by my offering that apology, that can serve as a credit to someone else who really needs that apology. And an apology that they're offering that isn't can help me. And in this manner, we're all benefiting tremendously from this approach.
Beautiful. So what are the key, Rabbi, we're almost at Rosh Hashanah. It's around the corner. What are some of the key things that we should be doing right now to make sure that we're prepared for this very big day?
Number one, being positive, being especially positive, going towards Rosh Hashanah with a confidence that Hashem wants a positive outcome for all of us. And Hashem does love all of us, as we find throughout the Torah. However, he says, give me a little bit. Give me an opening like a needle hole. I'll stretch it to be whatever it needs to be, that kind of thing. And Hashem knows our limitations. We say, Ki hu yada yitzreinu. He knows what we're up against. He knows our challenges. And therefore, he takes all of that into consideration. And certainly, if we are in a position, sometimes the Torah tells us that Hashem says, let me see how you judge someone else, and I'll use that as a formula to judge you. If we can now especially be cautious and careful, not to pass judgment on anyone unnecessarily, and not to choose to be negative about anyone, that can definitely help us be able to go in with a confidence that Hashem will respond accordingly.
Amazing. I'm excited. So, Rabbi, I know that one of the hot topics here is in your world is Uman. So a lot of people are going to be traveling to Uman. We shared in the beautiful class yesterday some of the amazing reasons, and some, I think I'd like you to share what are the important reasons why people go to Uman during Rosh Hashanah, and at the same time, I learned yesterday and better understood that there's a specific reason, and there's the Rabbeinu that is there and buried over there had asked us to do something very specific when he gets there, not just go there and be together today with maybe 50,000 Jews and have an amazing prayer and amazing time and have an amazing elevated prayers. But there were two instructions that were given to us. So I'd like for you to share that.
For sure. The two things that Rabbi Nachman stressed during his lifetime, and he actually called two people to serve as witnesses. He wanted that there shouldn't be any question of how definite he felt about this, was that there was a formula. We know that King David is the one. King David, together with another 9 holy people, are the ones who put together the book of Psalms, Tehillim, which is universal. The Jewish people know that whenever there's any crisis, anything very important that we feel needs divine intervention, divine support, Tehillim. It's psalms that are very, very special. And the Torah teaches us that there were 10 holy people that contributed to it. Adam Arishon, Adam, Moshe Rabbeinu, the sons of Korach, all. And in addition, that it's comprised of 10 different types of prayer, 10 different types of song. Rabbi Nachman said that he was privileged to be able to understand these 10 types of song and put together a formula, choose the 10 chapters of Tehillim that are representative of the entire book. And when these 10 are put together and recited consecutively in this way, he said this is Tikkun HaKlali. This can repair, be a general repair. This can affect a cleansing for anything and everything that a person would need to be cleansed. So he suggested people come to his gravesite, recite these 10 chapters of Tehillim, and in additional, give something to charity on his behalf. On behalf, we know that when a person passes away, they can no longer perform mitzvot. They can't do good deeds. One of the most important good deeds, charity, is compared to the Torah, is called charity. That's one of the nicknames of the. So, a person giving charity is accomplishing the entire Torah. And he said, if you will do this for me, to give something, set aside something for charity for me, I will do everything I possibly can to help you.
Things happen. I mean, just before I met my wife, I went to Uman. And they would shortly, it was around the same time, literally probably a month. And, I asked and Davin, and I know a lot of people that it's just done wonders to be at the grave of the tzaddik and to be there and pray. But for those of us that aren't able to make it to Uman this year, what can we do extra, or what should we be doing extra from here to hopefully gain as much of traction and tefillot? And of course, we're davening to Kadosh Baruch Hu, and being in Uman is more of a vehicle to get us closer and help us and help our prayers push. What can we do from here? Or is there a way to email someone who's there and get them a message, or get a messenger? There's some sort of system like that?
The answer is definitely. We know that the Torah teaches us, Shlucho shel Adam kemoto, that if a Jew designates another person to act on their behalf, in most cases pertaining to the Torah, that works. An incredible example. If I want to marry a girl that's in a different state, and we've made all the preparations and everything, and some extenuating circumstance comes up that I cannot be there to actually put the ring on her finger and to make the declaration, I can designate a messenger and say, I want you to go to my fiancée and give her this ring on my behalf and say, sanctified to this other person through my act of giving. It works. We know that in the time when there was a holy temple, there were certain sacrifices, daily sacrifices, which the entire Jewish nation was responsible to offer. A morning sacrifice, an afternoon sacrifice, and we couldn't all be there. There were a few people that were there that acted on behalf and credited the entire Jewish nation as if all of us participated. We have our website, breslovtorah.com. We have offered an opportunity, if anyone wants, to have that done on their behalf. But in addition, wherever in the world a person is, a person on Erev Rosh Hashanah, which is the last day of the year, so that's the closing of everything, on the last day of each person, wherever they are, reciting those 10 chapters, and setting aside something for charity and having in mind this is on behalf of Rabbi Nachman ben Fega. Rabbi Nachman writes, as do other rabbis, the mind, the soul is related to a person's thoughts. Wherever a person thinks, that's where the person really is. A person can concentrate. I want to be standing at the Kotel Maravi right now, and if your mind is there, your soul is there to a certain extent. So here, because the rabbi offered a certain guarantee, which we don't have, the Kotel is wonderful, it's very holy, but this specific place, the gravesite of Rabbi Nachman, he offered anybody being there would be able to get, a person can put themselves consciously, I want to recite these chapters as if I'm standing there myself, and I'm designating this charity on behalf of this rabbi who did so much during his lifetime to help people and is continuing today to help people through his books, through his students. this could also be very effective.
Amazing, amazing, excellent. All right, so we have the ability to have a messenger, someone that can deliver the message on our behalf. We can go there physically to Israel,
To Uman,
to Uman. Sorry, to Uman. Yeah, to Uman, and of course even Israel. For we mentioned the Kotel. If that's something that's another means of getting close. And of course, reinforcing our tefillot. One thing that, this is a period of time right now. We have a small. This is a period of 40 days, right? That we have been preparing since Rosh Chodesh, and we're soon going to enter Aseret Yemei Teshuvah. And this is really, one thing we learned yesterday is that it's never too late. If don't tell yourself, I've had people tell me in the past they've sinned so much or they've done so bad, they're going to hell anyways. Why even try at this point or attempt at this point? It's the wrong outlook. It's the wrong way to do things. It's never too late. Every Jew counts, and there's a place like we learned in Pirkei Avot. There's a place in Olam Haba for each and every one of us. We just have to take this moment and take this time, regardless of the past, regardless of our history, regardless of what we've been through, to look to start fresh. And even if it's not starting fresh, just continue what we're doing, but improve. Take upon ourselves something that is additional, extra, whatever it is. Even it could just be doing an extra good deed every day or making a difference in someone's world or someone's life. And, if there's anything else that you want to add, Rabbi,
perfect.
that's okay.
Definitely.
Well, I think we're ready for Rosh Hashanah. Maybe you'll be back here when we want to talk about Sukkot. We'll never know.
Looking forward.
Or maybe I'll come to Israel.
Even better.
That's a popular time to go to Israel. So I know maybe Pesach. All right. Well, Rabbi, thank you very much for visiting us today. We really appreciate your time. Have a safe trip back to Israel. Have an amazing, happy new year, all of you. Thank you very much. And remember to go listen to the Rabbi's classes at breslovtorah.com. You can also find him on Spotify. We'll go ahead and post the link. Thank you very much.